Running a business means I wear lots of hats. Luckily, when it's time to put on my hiring hat, I can count on LinkedIn to make it easy. I can post a job for free or pay to promote it and get 3 times more qualified candidates. Imagine finding your next great hire in 24 hours. 86% of small businesses do. With LinkedIn, I can also easily share my job with my network. No other job site lets me do that. Post your free job at linkedin.com/achieve. That's linkedin.com/achieve. Terms and conditions apply.
When the holidays start to feel a bit repetitive, reach for a Sprite Winter Spiced Cranberry and put your twist on tradition. A bold cranberry and winter spice flavor fusion, Sprite Winter Spiced Cranberry is a refreshing way to shake things up this sipping season. And only for a limited time. Sprite. Obey your thirst.
The Subaru Share the Love event is on from November 20th to January 2nd. During this event, Subaru donates to charities like Meals on Wheels, and so far has supported the delivery of nearly 5 million meals to our aging neighbors. When you purchase or lease a new vehicle during the 2025 Subaru Share the Love event, Subaru and its retailers will make a minimum $300 donation to charity. Visit Subaru.com/share to learn more.
Hello, Mega family. We are having our biggest sale of the year. And if you become a supporting member on Supercast now, you will get 20% off your first 6 months. If you're trying to think of a thoughtful gift for somebody, hey, give them the gift of membership or gift it to yourself. You've been so good all year. And if you've been thinking about joining Supercast, I will tell you that it is the best way that a small independent podcast like ours survives. So here's some podcast economics, just to give you an idea. Our show has received 1 million downloads on Spotify. That sounds good, right? But from all that, our ad revenue this month was $700, which is what we used to pay our editor. It's only through our supporters that we can actually feed ourselves. Since the last time we spoke, we've got new members: Steve C., Kitty G., Deborah H., Robin E. These fine folks are now getting Discord access and the Mega Mini episodes where Greg and I break down life behind the scenes of the show, talking about art and love, recovery, therapy, poetry. You'll love it, but you'll also love that warm, fuzzy feeling of doing your part. I hope you feel lots of love this season. I hope there are really good lights up in your neighborhood. Much love from us at Mega to you out there. Thanks for listening and for considering joining Supercast. Just go to mega.supercast.com and happy holidays.
Mega is an improvised satire from the staff of a fictional megachurch.
We are here, the Lord, we are here, and we're ready to podcast.
Hiya, I'm Hallie Labont, and this is Mega, coming to you from Twin Hills Community Church, where every single week we're giving our mega church a tiny family feel. We love to introduce you to members of our church staff and people from our community, and I always find it to be a treat and a treasure. And per usual, I'm joined by my co-host. He's the youth pastor for our high school ministry called Climax. Please welcome Gray Haas.
Jesus is the reason for the season that we're in, Hallie, which is, I guess, fall, isn't it?
Oh, don't you love fall with the pumpkin spices and all that?
Yes, I am so pumped for our pumped for our next guest.
Nice. Well, just like Jesus said he would leave the 99 sheep to find the one lost lamb, we have one beautiful lamb entering the fold today. It's our new friend, Trey Cackowski. Welcome to the program, my friend. How you feeling today?
Well, I'm just delighted and honored to be on with you. I'm a recent newbie to the area. Just gone to a few services so far, and the church has been so welcoming and kind to me. I'm an older fellow, a little bit lonely. I know I'm notorious already for falling asleep in the back pew, but
well, Trey, we do not we will not fault you for that, because as we say, we have a big tent here at Twin Hills, don't we, Hallie? And we love people from all walks of life, especially older people. I think maybe the oldest person at a church is maybe like 65 or something. How old are you, Trey?
Well, I'm nearing my 80th birthday, almost an octogenarian, so I'm 79. I'm a boomer, full-on boomer.
Wow!
If you want to say hey boomer to me or okay boomer, then you go ahead. But that's what I am.
Amazing.
Wow.
Well, Trey, tell us a little bit about where you came from, that you found yourself here in Indianapolis and at Twin Hills specifically. Where were you and what were you up to in those, 70 some odd years before you got here?
Well, they were odd years. I'll tell you that much. I don't know why you think it would be interesting to have me on, because I'm just a simple old fella, But I've lived pretty much anywhere that you could think of. I've been a little all over, so I don't even know where to start. Like name a place.
Oh, Wichita, Kansas.
Yep, lived there for a while.
Wow.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's a good guess, Hallie.
Oh.
I was in the service.
Oh, real? Oh, okay. So you were traveling all over, I guess.
Yeah, Coast Guard.
Cool.
And how does one serve in the Coast Guard in Kansas?
It's a very small platoon. We're just there. There are lakes, there are rivers. It's not traditionally coastal, but some sort of water related thing that needs defending. We're right there in Wichita. Should we be needed?
Really?
Neat. Now, I'm a lover of words, and you just said platoon, and I was wondering if it's related to the word spittoon. If only it's when people in a platoon are spitting into an object, if it's a spittoon.
I hadn't thought about that, but I guess that suffix "oon" maybe denotes something that's done in mass. So a platoon is a large group of soldiers, and a spittoon is a device that several people can spit at.
I know. I'm trying to think of other words with "oon" at the end, and I guess I'm just thinking like soon.
Raccoon.
A
raccoon.
Right. Cartoon.
Oh, cartoon.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Man on the moon.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's all of them.
Have you ever lived in the New York side of Niagara Falls? I think it'd be neat to live there.
Well, I've been to the falls, of course. Beautiful. My third marriage, we honeymooned at the Canadian side, I believe.
Ooh.
Was your wife Canadian?
My wife was Canadian. She was a Quebecois named Michelle. That one didn't last that long. It was mostly a sham marriage to give her U.S. citizenship.
Wow.
How many times have you been married in your 79 years?
Well, I've been married 5 times to 5 beautiful ladies. No children that I know of.
Well, I know that over there on the Canada side in Niagara, they got some slot machines and you can do some gaming. I mean, was there any temptation to do that on your honeymoon? What's there to do?
Well, there's more there than you might think. I didn't do the slots, but I did gamble in a legal dogfighting ring for a while there. Michelle just kind of stayed back at the hotel, and you can pretty much sniff out whenever there's dogfighting going on. You just see a look in someone's eyes, and you know it's. You know who to call. You know who to talk to.
Really? Oh, that's fascinating. You say you haven't had much of a life, but I guess, the reason that originally, I guess we had you on is, yes, you did fall asleep in the back of the church the other day, and someone had to wake you up to get you out. But then I think when they were helping you to the door and you took a tumble, you actually did a full roll and then popped right back up on your feet, and then said you had done a little bit of stunt work. Is that also a part of?
Wow.
Yeah, I kind of consider that my lost years. I was doing stunt work in Hollywood in the late 1960s. I was a body double for Charles Bronson.
Oh, my Lanta.
One of the best actors ever.
Gorgeous man.
Unbelievable acting.
And so I think that's just muscle memory. If you start to fall, you go into an Aikido roll, and you just end up on your feet again. Yeah, but
what was he like to work with?
Well, he was a grumpy fella. I'll tell you that much. It was certainly all of those Death Wish movies, those violent Charles Bronson movies. They're not far from the truth. I think it's just a slight variation on his own persona. And he would want to do the stunts himself, and so. They do 1 or 2, and it wouldn't be convincing, and then they'd bring me in as the ringer.
Awesome,
amazing,
wow,
yeah. And so when
I'd forgotten
somebody saw you do a role. Oh, really? Really?
Interesting.
You're jogging my memory about a lot of different lifetimes.
Well, yeah. Have you ever lived overseas?
I was in Amsterdam for a while.
Wow. The Dutch.
What took you there?
Well, I was in the CIA at the time.
Oh,
Is that right?
really?
Holy smokes.
Yeah, I think the expiration date has run out on the old NDA, so I can talk about it in general terms. I can't get too specific with it for a while, but yeah, I was living right on the canals there. We were shutting down an international drug ring.
Oh,
that
I never knew the Christian
right?
Inspiration Association did that.
No, this would be the Central Intelligence Agency.
Oh, cool.
really?
Now, back when, was it easier to get in the agency? Did you just kind of like be able to do that for a while, like the Coast Guard, you know?
Well, I think they probably, they respected my service that I'd done already. They respected my stunt work. I just had a unique resume, I guess, and for a very specific job. They needed somebody to kind of infiltrate this international gang and pretend to be one of them. It was an immersive experience for a couple of years there, but
Wow.
We were never able to pin them down. They're still out there selling drugs, as far as I know. But it was a wild time.
Interesting. I mean, I guess you have had some interesting things. I mean, I've also had a very interesting life. I've done a lot of different things.
Oh, cool.
Like he was saying, CIA or whatever. I can relate to this because in a lot of ways, Hallie, my life as a youth pastor has also been just really pretty awesome and cool, and a lot of people don't often see that.
It's an adventure.
But, yeah. Oh, so you lived in Amsterdam. That's really
really
interesting.
cool.
And so from the 60s in the 60s, you were in the Coast Guard in Kansas. You did some stunt work that took you out to Hollywood. Then we're into, I guess, the 70s. You're in Amsterdam, and is everything kind of a wash from the 70s until you found yourself here in Indianapolis?
Yeah, I guess things slowed down a little more, and I went into, a more conventional life. I was a roadie for ZZ Top for about 4 years.
That
Yes.
right?
Really?
Wow, what does that require? You tuning the guitars, you selling merch.
Probably
what do you do?
a lot of stunt work there too.
Yeah.
Sure, a little bit. If you've seen the Sharp Dressed Man video, that's me in the background doing a flip at one point. I'm dressed up like Billy Gibbons, the guitarist. Dusty Hill. They both had long beards, and then the drummer.
Yes.
The drummer was Frank Beard, but he didn't have a beard. Only a mustache.
Oh, isn't that ironic?
Yeah, I think that is the definition of ironic.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, okay. So then, and is that, and so for 4 years, you said you were doing that?
Yeah, off and on. They wouldn't tour constantly, but they were road warriors of a sort for a while. And yes, I did tune guitars. I set up amps. I sold merch. I would kind of be security out there if somebody was getting a little too rowdy. I'd evict them from the venue.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. I did. I guess I did see it's a bit of a faded tattoo there on your forearm, but at first I thought that was the guy. I thought that was the guy from Breaking Bad, but I guess that's one of that's just the guy. Is that the drummer from ZZ Top?
Yes, that's exactly. That's Frank Beard, who was
In a hat.
Who was a sweetheart. Yes, an absolute sweetheart. Billy and Dusty were a little more difficult to work with, but Frank and I really bonded.
And I guess my follow-up question is, so that is the drummer from ZZ Top, but why does it say, "I am the one who knocks" underneath it? Was that something that he also said?
He said that years before, Breaking Bad. I haven't seen the show. I only know it because, about 3 times a day, somebody comes up and says, Breaking Bad, right?
That's cool.
So that was his catchphrase before the show. Amazing.
I am the one who knocks. Just a little play on his drumming style, I think.
Oh, I see.
Cool.
Fascinating.
Well, I was tickled pink when I was walking out with you last weekend after the 11:15 service, and you mentioned that I commented on your beautiful Bible, and you mentioned that you wish the New Testament was in Aramaic so you could read it in the original language, and I was just wondering where the heck you learned Aramaic?
Well,
or in Jesus' language, the language Jesus spoke.
I have a knack for picking up languages. I was
right?
I was fluent in Dutch in no time, and Yeah, Aramaic was just, in those down times when I think I learned it mostly like on the road with ZZ Top, because there's a lot of long, bus trips, and the performers are kind of crashing during the day because they go all out, they do a show, and then they do whatever, and they kind of sleep all day, and so when things are slow and you're a little bit bored, there's nothing better than to pick up Aramaic.
Wow. That's cool. And I just was going to ask, because I know, Old Testament's in Hebrew, New Testament's in Greek, but Jesus spoke Aramaic. And so I think the New Testament should be in Aramaic. And I just was wondering, speaking Aramaic as you do, does it help you feel like you can understand and love Jesus a little bit more in his own language?
Well, I tell you what, if he were to come back, and we all think he will at some point, right?
Yes,
definitely. Any minute. It could be any second.
I think it is going to be soon, honestly,
it's why
the way
I
this country's going.
I only make no bakes now. Why even turn on the oven? He could be back any minute.
He's not going to be speaking English, and he might be a little disoriented at first. So, I hope I'm there to translate and to get him calmed down. He'll be a little freaked out by things that are going on at first, and he's going to be saying in Aramaic, "What is this? Where am I? Who are all you people?" Yep. It'll just be like coming back from a long sleep, and you're going to need somebody fluent to calm him down.
That is such an interesting point, Hallie. I've never really thought of it, of like, what is going to be the experience of Jesus coming back after all this time? It kind of reminds me of that really funny movie. It was kind of before my time, but it was called Encino Man. And he was frozen in the ice, and then he came back, and it's kind of like that actor, actually. We didn't see him for a long time, and then he came back as a pretty obese guy. But it's kind of like, how do you take Jesus and get him up to speed, as it were, with all the stuff that's going on now? And I think Trey's point of you're going to have a translator. You're going to have an ambassador, aren't you?
Yep.
Yeah, I think Encino Man is probably the best comparison that I could think of for Jesus's return. I think it's gonna be a lot like that. I did work on that film, by the way.
Oh, really?
Oh,
in
cool.
stunts or something else?
I was a grip.
Oh, that's cool.
So you did that side
Your
of the
crew.
camera too.
Crew is cool.
Oh,
Good
cool.
union. Good union. I'll tell you that much.
Amazing. And now, was you gripping on Encino? I mean, what year was that movie shot? The 90s, I think, right?
Ooh. Yeah, I'll say early 90s, maybe.
So
was Pauly Shore in that?
I think he was so funny.
He's so funny.
The funniest guy, the nicest guy.
Yeah.
Really? That's
cool.
good to hear.
I love it.
So you were back in Hollywood in the 90s then.
That's cool.
Even after taking some time away, I assume, for the Cold War.
Yes, well, we won the Cold War, which was fantastic.
Oh, we did. Good. Oh, that's good to know. I had not heard.
Wonderful. Yeah, thank goodness. That's good news.
How do you know if you've won the Cold War? That's something I've always wondered.
Well, I guess when people were taking pieces of the Berlin Wall, and Reagan said, Mr. Gorbachev, tear down that wall, and he did. And then David Hasselhoff. I guess when David Hasselhoff comes and sings, that a chapter of your life is ending in some way. So that felt like it closed it off for me.
And were you there for that?
I was there. Yes.
Really?
Incredible.
Also for the Hasselhoff part?
Yes. I was doing security for Hasselhoff at the time. Actually, he was huge there. This is the peak of Baywatch, and I don't know if you know how popular he is as a singer in Germany. It's
really?
Is that right?
It's like Swiftie, times 10 is how big Hasselhoff was in Germany at the time.
Incredible.
So he needed a lot of security. So I was there to provide that.
Amazing.
That is so
And then back
cool.
to the States for Encino Man.
Yeah. And what else I was thinking, Trey, is I wonder if when Jesus comes back, it's going to be not a lot unlike parachuting. You kind of come in for a landing, falling out of the sky. Have you ever done any parachuting?
I was, yes. I was an instructor for tandem jumps.
Wow. Wow.
It's just incredible. I've also, I'm not sure if I've mentioned him before, but my friend Clay Mason Bannerman and I just did a tandem skydiving jump. And it was so fun, Hallie, because, Clay was screaming the whole time in my ear, which wasn't fun. But at one point, we needed the instructor because our chutes got tangled. And the instructor midair had to sort of do a maneuver where he was untangling the chutes as we were going down, and it was almost like he was playing, cat's cradle or something in the sky. And then eventually they came apart, and he said, "You know what, guys? If those hadn't come apart, you would have definitely been dead." And I said, "It doesn't really matter if I had died because I've got Jesus."
Yeah,
but,
it would be awesome to be straight to the pearly gates.
Yeah,
I think.
but the skydiving can be really dangerous, can't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, when you've done a lot of them are uneventful. So you kind of live for those ones where you get tangled up a bit. It's like when you're playing catch with a friend and you're like, give me a hard one. Give me a hard one. Like, don't just throw a lob in there of like, you want a little bit of a challenge, and yes, the subject is screaming and screaming away. I actually think were Jesus to come back, I'd love to do a tandem jump with him.
That'd be cool.
That would be,
He'd
what
be
a
the
good
best
idea.
tandem partner.
I know.
Oh, that would be
And you call them
awesome.
subjects, the jumpers.
Yes, this was also it was a thing involved with the CIA where we were doing experiments of people experiencing a near death event. So it was hard because I had to be in the parachute with them. I had to talk to them, but all the while I'm taking notes. I'm taking notes on their behavior, just because different people react in different ways, to their impending death.
I mean, I watch a lot of YouTube, and I did hear one of my favorite shows. His name's Joe Rogan. He was talking about a CIA experiment called, I think it was like MK Messiah or something like that. Was that was this what you were talking about? Were you part of that, where you were basically taking people right up to the edge and then, bringing them back down and seeing if they'll assassinate someone or whatever?
Yeah, again, I can't get into all super specifics with it, but yes, this was part of the MK program. We also, provided LSD to the Manson family. It's a long, long story of like, but I can't imagine that all of this is that interesting to you kids.
Yeah, it's really not super interesting, but I do find it. I do like Joe Rogan, which I guess is what I was getting to. Is he's really interesting.
He's great, the best.
I got to look him up. Well, Trey, I wanted to ask because, you mentioned to me that you had taught college, and I thought, well, this is probably, some boring tenured existence. And now I'm thinking that you might be like Indiana Jones. I mean, with girls writing "I love you" on their eyelids and people throwing you in a pit of snakes and all of that. Well, have you ever been thrown in a pit of snakes?
I don't know if I was thrown in there so much as willingly went.
Oh, wow. Really? I hear there are snake shows in Thailand where they'll dump a burlap bag of poisonous vipers at your feet.
That's exactly what I'm thinking of. Yes. But they're only poisonous if you get bit. And, snakes do not respond well to eye contact. So if you can lock in with as many of them as possible, they will leave you alone. It's like when you're hiking in the woods and like make yourself look big. So so the pumas run away. It's the same thing with snakes. Just make yourself look big. They'll leave you alone.
I mean, is that, and sorry to always make everything about the Bible. And also, I've had exciting experiences too as a youth pastor, Hallie, and many, many like this. But, don't you ever think, like, what if Adam had really locked eyes with the snake in Genesis? It really just said, no, snake, we're not going to do that. We're not going to eat the fruit. I just wonder why he didn't do that.
Who knows where we'd be? There'd be no original sin, I guess.
I know, and that would be a bummer, wouldn't it?
That would be a bummer.
Well, then what would Jesus have died for? He would have died for nothing.
I know. It really does put it all into perspective, doesn't it? But I guess, it would be a totally different Bible. And if we're going to have Jesus parachute back in, we've got to have that sin, and we've got to have Adam not look at that snake right in the eyes.
I can't figure out how that snake was talking to Eve. I can't figure it out because they don't have the, type of mandible jaws and, voice, but they don't even have a voice box, I don't think.
Right. Well, so, I don't know if he would know about that, Hallie.
Well, do snakes have a voice box or not?
Yeah.
Do you know if they do or not?
Yeah, but I just don't want, I don't want to have you speak about things that you don't know about, like snakes having voice boxes.
Well, I happen to know that there are some breeds that have a very, very rudimentary voice box, and the sounds they produce are nowhere close to human speech. But we have been able to work out, a few very basic communications that these let's call them talking snakes are able to do.
Really?
Wow. See, that just proves that the Bible's true.
So is the doctor in front of your name? What are you a doctor of?
Well, no, I'm not a medical doctor. I do have
Okay.
an advanced degree in philosophy. That's why I'm kind of obligated to put the doctor there, but I don't want to give people the false impression that although if you needed a splint done or some sort of emergency surgery, an emergency tracheotomy, I've done those and I can do those.
Really?
But yes, but I'm not like a medical doctor.
Wait, I mean, it was that around a stunt, or that you had to perform an emergency tracheotomy, or was that?
So many times, snake bits, stunts, ZZ Top. I mean, it's just.
Is that why they sing like that?
You know that part where they go how.
Well, I mean, it's a bit before my time, but I think I do kind of know that. I think actually my stepdad's cell phone ring was that for a while.
Yes, it's LaGrange. LaGrange is the song, the ZZ Top song.
Okay.
And it's about a whorehouse in Texas. Sorry to curse, So Billy Gibbons was choking on a pastrami sandwich while they were recording that song, and I had to step in there, perform an emergency tracheotomy, and then he finished the vocals, with the neck still open a little bit, and that's probably how he got that distinct how sound.
Wow. I mean, what? And so what did you use as the pipe, as it were?
Typically, a ballpoint pen works wonders.
Oh, cool. Yeah, because those are readily available.
They are readily available, and if you have the strength, to pierce the trachea, then you can. Or a straw helps as well.
Okay.
It's a little harder. Those cheap plastic ones aren't going to do. But if you have a good solid metal straw, that'll work.
Do you just pop the ballpoint pen right through the skin like you're pushing a straw through a Capri Sun hole?
That's a great analogy. That's what it exactly is. 100%.
Same pressure, huh?
Same pressure.
Wow.
Except those
Cool.
Capri
I think
Suns.
I could do it.
Those Capri Suns are impossible.
Yeah, those are.
Yeah, you
nobody
have
can
to
do
get
this.
the angle right.
Yeah, it's
Gosh darn
impossible.
it.
I wish
Yeah,
it
it's
was
very
cheaper.
frustrating.
The human
But it's
trachea
worth
is
it. It's good
so
to
much easier.
Okay. Wow,
fascinating.
good to know.
Well, have you managed to meet anyone since you've come here? Because I know that you said at the beginning of this, before you got into kind of all these boring stories, that you were kind of looking to meet someone.
Yeah, I'm getting up there in age, and living here in the greater Indianapolis area, just because I heard it's a great place to retire.
For sure. It's the
perfect.
best.
Great weather, and I was a meteorologist for a while in Oklahoma, so I'm like.
Tornado country to be a meteorologist.
It's tornado country down there. And Indiana is not immune from them either. But I have a good sense of when there's going to be a big weather event. My old trick knee will act up.
Is that when you shook my hand? You said you introduced yourself as Dr. Trey Cackowski, the original Twister, and I didn't really know what you meant by that. But what was that the weather stuff?
That's my standard greeting. Dr. Trey Cackowski, the original Twister. Yeah,
and at first I thought you were talking about the rapper, but then I guess you're talking about weather.
No idea there.
Okay.
But I don't know if you recall the Bill Paxton character from Twisters.
Yes,
if you've seen that film,
yes.
or Twister, just the singular Twister.
Okay, not the new one.
With Helen Hunt, classic.
Oh, Helen Hunt.
She's awesome.
Helen Hunt.
She's great. That was my fourth wife.
Is that right? What a wonderful
Was that
gal.
before or after Frank Azaria?
I don't know where Helen and I were not together for long. I don't know where we fall in the Hank Azaria timeline.
Okay,
this is certainly before the Apu controversy. This was probably around the time that we were making Encino Man. I was briefly married to Helen Hunt. But we were just going in two different directions.
Yes.
I was ex-CIA boomer, and she was America's sweetheart,
Right.
and she was
And so
so
the Bill
busy with
Paxton-
Mad About You,
Oh, right, of course.
Yeah.
But the Bill Paxton character was based on you? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, we're off on a tangent within a tangent at this point, but yes, I did. Bill followed me around for a couple weeks, chasing twisters.
And what was it like seeing then Bill Paxton with you, I guess then ex-wife on the screen portraying you? Wasn't that? I mean, that
had to be a
seems like a real talk about snakes eating their tails.
It was nice analogy. Yeah, it was an Ouroboros situation. Yeah,
It really, I don't know that word, but that must have been difficult to watch.
Yeah.
it was surreal, and I was not welcome on set. So I would have to find ways to disguise myself. But generally, if you have a good fake mustache with spirit gum, and if you just, if you walk on set, you grab something, you grab a case of something and start carrying it around, nobody really asks questions.
And yeah, I mean, that's so interesting. You dressed up as a character to try to just get close to your former, ex, I guess, and ostensibly, connect again.
I was trying to, and now that you put it that way, I was trying to get her back, I guess, which was a fool's errand, But yes, I did dress up for a while as a British nanny. I had an elaborate wig and a bathrobe, And again, if you look like you belong, if you look comfortable on set, nobody really asks questions. Yep. And the kids that were there in Twister, they have to get a certain hour of school every day. That's just a standard Hollywood thing. So,
right, yes.
Yeah, so I was the on-set tutor and teacher in disguise as an old British woman.
And, at one point I did dress up just to get into a concert one time as a member of DC Talk.
Oh, K-Max?
No, one of the other ones.
Oh, Toby Mac?
No, the other one.
Oh, yeah. The last one.
Yeah. You don't need to. Yeah. Anyway, so that must have been fascinating that you just had that training that could come into play at any time.
I wasn't consciously thinking about, that I was a master of disguise in the CIA for a number of years. I guess you just kind of internalize it. You're on autopilot at that point, when you want to, sneak into somebody's life, you put on a disguise.
Does being in the CIA feel like you're being an actor, but with stakes? Like instead of trying to get an Academy Award, you're trying to not get killed.
Or in the Cold War.
That's right.
Exactly.
That's right. I mean, I've been in those U-55 boats or whatnot up in Chicago at the Museum of Science and Industry. You can get in a Cold War submarine in there.
Oh, I love that band.
Yeah. Those, I feel like that band is Christian adjacent.
They really are, aren't they?
They feel very Christian.
And
yeah.
they sound like reggae, but then you look at a picture of them and half of them have red hair. And there's like 21 guys in the band, and it only sounds like 4 instruments, which is a real challenge. How do you do that? Make the band sound like it's smaller than it actually is.
Yeah.
I am looking for love. This is a complete tangent at this point, but I've been married 5 times. They all ended poorly, though I loved all of those ladies. So if I'm being fully honest, that is one of the reasons that I'm there is looking for companionship. So I don't know if there's anybody that you can steer me toward. I think you said there's not a lot of people my age at the church.
Do you have any hobbies?
None that come to mind.
Oh.
No, I'm basically a boring old guy.
Trey Cackowski was played by the absolutely outstanding Craig Cackowski. Check out his podcast, Craigslist: The Next Generation, and follow him at @CCackowski. I'm Holly Laurent playing Hallie Labont, and Gray Haas was played by Greg Hess. Follow us and Mega the Podcast on Twitter and Instagram. And if you really want to get out of hell free card, support us on Patreon. The link is in the show notes.
Hey, Ryan Reynolds here, wishing you a very happy half-off holiday, because right now Mint Mobile is offering you the gift of 50% off unlimited. To be clear, that's half price, not half the service. And Mint is still premium unlimited wireless for a great price. So that means a half day, yeah?
Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. New customer offer for first 3 months only. Speed slow after 35 gigabytes if network's busy. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.